All right, attention everyone. Today is our weekly one-on-one business referral web show that we do here each and every Monday at Platinum City Gaming. Um, and the purpose of this show is to actually build each other's business by referrals and our awesome web show that we have here at Platinum City Gaming. It's a tool to market each other's business. And today, we have a awesome broker from Boston Trust Realty Group, and he focuses on commercial, right?
That's
All
right.
all right. So I want you to, introduce yourself. Let people know a little bit about what you do. I'm also going to ask a couple questions, and yeah, let people get familiar about what you do.
Okay. My name is Milton Baptista. You call me Milton. Rashaud and I kind of grew up together back in the neighborhood around Dudley Street in Boston and all of that. That's part of the reason why I'm here. What I do is I help people who are, startup businesses, companies that are already established, to find a commercial space. And so, in a nutshell, when you have like a vacancy or you need to move your business or something like that, I'm here to help you out. So if you own a commercial building, multi units, or like say you have a commercial space on the bottom, it's my job to help you get a business as a tenant, and also to for people who are starting up, I help you to find places as well, and I actually walk you through the process of how to go about getting a commercial lease done and things like that.
Okay.
So I'm a guide. I'm here to help businesses, at the end of the day.
Okay. And when you say help businesses, so say for example, I said I need some help at Platinum City Gaming. I know this is kind of a tough question to ask. And only reason why I ask is because, say for example, there's someone that may want to ask the same question. So when you say help businesses, what part of that helping can you provide? Just curious.
So for the most part, it's helping businesses to not only present themselves in the best light as say like a tenant for a space,
Hmm.
but pretty much if I have resources to connect you with other people who I feel may benefit your business, then that's how I help as well. So yeah, at the end of the day, I'm here to help people grow, here to help people prosper, expand, all of that stuff. If you're starting out as well, I have a few partnerships with a few banks who they give certain loans out if you meet a certain criteria. So at the end of the day, I'm a resource. So that's the way that I best help businesses, is just by being a resource to them
Hmm.
to help them grow, prosper, expand.
Nice, nice. So, what made you like want to become a realtor? It's funny too. I actually took a real estate class, and I took the test and everything, and I was just like, I, you know, I, I know so many people, and the test was so hard. What was your challenges of like becoming a realtor? Because I love taking tests, but man, that test was I don't know. I don't know if I had the right instructor,
Hmm.
I should say.
Yep.
But that test was a little difficult. So what, like, obviously it was a drive that you had that wanted you to become a realtor, and you just never gave up. I'm not sure if I gave up, but what made you want to become a realtor?
So for myself, ever since I was younger, my mom was an entrepreneur. My dad was an entrepreneur as well. He dabbled in real estate for a while,
Hmm.
and I remember those days, and I just kind of always remembered, just wanting to do this as a career one day, and I'm fortunate that I made the decision, when I did. So I was about, what was it 2015? I was about 28 years old, and I was like, hey, I'm gonna make this happen now. And I always saw myself being a real estate agent for some time,
Hmm.
and just being an investor and being an owner and being a provider, through real estate and doing deals. I think doing deals is pretty cool, you know, because I like the complexities of it, and everything, figuring things out. Like, does this work for you? Does that work for you? Okay, this doesn't work for me. Let's, go around it. And to be honest with you, I think the thing that made me really want to become a real estate agent is that, since I was younger, especially like when I was in college, um, I'm the type of person that, like, once I know something,
Mm-hmm.
I have to use my knowledge. And so once I took the real estate course, it made me get even more interested in real estate because I saw the potential of it.
Mm-hmm.
And so there's so much potential, even if you don't have a real estate license, there's a lot of potential in it for you to earn money as, maybe as an investor where, it takes you a little bit longer,
Mm-hmm.
but, in the long run, it pays off. Doing flips, you don't need a license for that. Doing wholesale deals, you don't need a license for that. Just being a referral source, you don't need a license for that. And I genuinely think that that real estate should be taught in high school. So like at some point, like you should teach kids about a lease, teach them about a commercial lease, teach them about what it is to own a house, a mortgage, and everything, because that's not something that they really teach in high
That's cool.
school. And and at the end of the day, real estate is everything. Like, we're in real estate right now. We're on a property. When you leave here, you're going to another property. Even the roads, the state highways and stuff, that's real estate for the state. You know what I mean, or for the city. So real estate's in everything.
No, absolutely. I agree about that.
Yeah.
That's and that's kind of when I actually got into the whole real estate thing. I just thought like, hey, if I be a realtor, I can make all this money. I sell a house, and obviously you have to have sales experience. Now, graduating, I'm not sure what school you graduated. You graduated
UMass Boston.
UMass
Yep.
Boston.
Yep.
Did you go for business management or anything? No.
Nope. So actually, I didn't have any sales experience prior to getting into real estate. I just knew it was something that I don't really feel like real estate is something you need to sell.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like it's a need, and then as long as you're able to help the owner or help the buyer, the tenant, whatever, solve the problem.
Mm-hmm.
The problem is, hey, I need a space, whether it's to live, whether it's to rent, whether it's to do business out of. If I can help you solve that problem, then I've done my job. And me using not only the book smarts, but the street smarts, the people smarts, being connected to certain people to make those things happen. Then I figured as long as I can solve the problem, I'm good. I don't really need to sell anything.
No,
You know.
I totally agree where you
Yeah.
come from because it's funny to say we actually grew up in the same neighborhood, and I tell you, like, just growing up in a city where you have to kind of mellow and learn everything from bad to good,
Oh yeah.
and to bring it to a level where you have to be professional. It's just your heart and your mind build so much abilities to understand people, to actually uh, communicate and understand, like really grasp at everything from coming from a rough city, as we came from,
Yep. Yep.
and
Yep.
to actually sit here with you is it's amazing,
Oh
because
yeah.
I tell you, we could sit here and tell you tons of different stories, but regardless of all of those stories that we learned from, either it was good or bad, we're actually sitting here together talking about business and how we can help people, and and, and it's amazing to just see that from someone coming from the same city that I came
Yep,
from.
yep, definitely,
Um,
man. Thank you, man. It's same from my end, man. At the end of the day, we kind of fought against the odds and stuff because we didn't have anybody to show us this.
Absolutely.
It's like you're asking me like, hey, what gave you the driving force to get into real estate and things like that, and I know you've owned a few businesses, and you've been a property owner and things like that, and I'm like, well, same thing
Yeah.
that drove you is like the same thing that drove me, kind of a thing, at the end of the day. But yeah, man, it's up to us to, although we didn't come from the best, circumstances starting out,
Yeah.
and there's been people who we've lost along the way and things like that, and there's certain things that just come with the territory, and like at the end of the day, if you want to be a success more than like how could I say it? Like even though you don't come from an environment that tells you could be successful, if you want to be more successful than what's in your environment, you can be that. And I think like the both of us have, I feel like we're still both on our way. We've come a long way,
Oh yeah.
but
It,
we're both still on the way,
as
and sky's the limit.
as I say every day, I even say it to my partner. You're the only. You're your destination. So if you decide today, hey, I can't do this anymore, you're literally your destination.
Yeah,
So, and it's really what you put into it. You know what I
yep,
mean? Time, effort, and if you sit at home all day and think just everything's just going to come to you, it doesn't work that way.
true.
It's really just what you put into it, and I say that every single day. I say it to my partner, and I say it to myself daily. And that's why I just grind as hard as I can to my knees say, hey, that's it. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? I'm still gonna probably, if there's capability of me to move, I'm gonna still keep moving.
yeah,
That's
as you
just
should.
my drive.
Yep.
But as being a realtor, did you have any role models that you looked up to, or?
Um, I did. I've had a few, and I think most of it I would say is like my peers.
Hmm.
So like there've been people who I grew up around, and like I saw them get into real estate,
Hmm.
and I'm like, oh man, I want to do a deal with that guy one day. And there's certain things that I've wanted to accomplish within real estate that I've seen people before me do and everything. And so yeah, just trying to follow in those footsteps and just take how could I say bigger leaps and
Yep.
just reach for more. And it's times when people who you look up to, they're like, man, you're on fire, and you're like, what, me? And so that's one of the things that, like, when you're on the right path and stuff, those things will happen. But yeah, but for the most part, I'll say like my mentors have been like people who are just ahead of me. you know,
Hmm.
yeah.
So, what have been some of your biggest challenges as being a realtor, and working in the city of Boston, and you know, just working with people as a realtor? Because as putting my trust, I actually, when I first brought my first house, um, I had no clue. I was lost. So
Oh
when
yeah.
you deal with clients that, this is their first rodeo, and they're putting their all and trust into you. Like, what has been your most challenges around that?
A lot of times it's not only showing the person like, hey, you can trust me.
Hmm.
Sometimes people can be the own worst enemy,
Yeah.
and so it's a thing of for somebody in my position, right? If my thing is I'm trying to get you to your destination,
Yep.
right? Whether in the past I did, I've done commercial, I've done residential real estate, so it's been all right. Let me help you find a house. All right, let me help you find what kind of house you want, a single family, a multifamily. I've dealt with clients who they're like, yeah, they like the idea of owning a multifamily
Hmm.
because it'll be income producing, but at the end of the day, it's like, listen, you're not a landlord type of person,
Yep.
and
Yep.
it's like you really have to, kind of read people and help them figure out what's best for them,
Hmm.
because when people are starting out, they start out with one thing in mind and they have this picture of how things are gonna go, and you're just there, if you're a realtor in my role, you're just there to kind of, you know, help them figure out like, hey, you know what, that's not the reality of things.
Hmm.
This is how it's gonna go. This is what you should expect. Blah 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 blah. Some people may think, hey, I want a three family in this side of town, but it's like over there they don't really have three families. They have more twos or singles or things like that. And just really, it's a lot of hand holding,
Hmm.
but at the end of the day, it's rewarding because it's like you're helping somebody achieve something, one of their dreams that they've always
Yeah.
had, and like I get to be a part of that. You know what I mean? In residential, I've been a part of that many times over. Now working with commercial real estate, working with businesses and stuff, it's like I still get to do that, just in a different way.
Yep.
And yeah, man, it's just rewarding all around.
It seems like you're very, very passionate
Thank you.
as a no, seriously,
Yeah.
coming from being a realtor to a broker,
Mm,
that's big. You put a lot of time and effort.
mm.
Name your greatest success, um, or what are your most proud, the most things that you're proud of about being a realtor and becoming a broker. Like, what are you proud of? You know.
So yeah, so for myself, I think I'll go back to like the sorts of deals that I've done.
Hmm.
And so, when you start out in real estate, you really don't know what you don't know. And two things I want to touch on that you mentioned earlier. One was the test,
Yep. Yep.
right? So people, like anybody who wants to be a real estate agent, when you're taking the class and you're going for the test and everything, uh, the test is only going to be about maybe 5%, between 3 to 5% of what you actually know and use when you're out in the field. So everything else that you learn is going to be experience. So, people, I know when I first took the test, I felt like, man, I know so much, this, that, this, that, this, because
Yep.
a lot of it's vocabulary,
Yep.
and so you have to know these things, you have to know these concepts. And I think through me, like really studying and, really wanting to, do good on the test, do my best on the
Hmm.
test and everything, it's, it's very, how could I say, it goes back to like putting in the time,
Yeah.
right? I'm like, yo, I want this. I want to know this stuff. I want to be able to have these types of conversations, you know,
No,
with
you're
people where I'm like, I'm using, big words and stuff, or I'm using terms that in real estate make absolute sense, but to the normal person, they're like, oh, what did you just say, man? This is alien language to me, right? I wanted that.
no, you're right.
So yeah, so I would say, yeah, so when you want it that bad, like passing the test, studying for the exam, it doesn't seem like a daunting task. It seems like, okay, I'm learning as part of my process. The other thing I wanted to touch on was, that you mentioned earlier was, a lot of people think like, hey, when I get into real estate, I'm going to make a whole bunch of money just because I'm in real estate.
No,
And
that's what I thought.
yeah,
That's kind of why I got into it. I'm gonna be honest.
a lot of people get into it for that reason, and at the end of the day, that's the thing that'll take you out.
Yeah.
So it's like if you're in this only for money because you're like, I'm gonna get this much, this much, this much. Like when there's deals that fall through, there's deals that get extended. There's all types of things that'll happen that are outside of your control. And if you're doing it just for the money, that money's not guaranteed.
Oh yeah, that's true.
And I've been through it plenty of times. I've been through times when I was like this close to quitting, and I'm like, next week I'm gonna quit next week, and it's like something works out, and I'm like, all right, cool, or like I find something within myself to keep going. And I feel like that's something that from the people who I learned from, who've come before me, like everyone goes through that, and they're like, man, you don't know how many times I was about to quit, and I feel like it's not only a realtor thing,
Hmm.
but it's an entrepreneur thing. So, once you're really going through it, it's like those things that really test you, that really test, uh, how tough you are, really test your heart. Like, do you really want this? And, the universe will be like, the thing that you don't want to happen, the universe will make it happen and be like, make it through, you know? And yeah. So, like, if you're doing this, like, only for money, I say that to say that if you're only doing this for money, you're gonna do, only this or that for money too, you know,
So
at the end of the day.
I think I should say it was more of a part-time, per diem kind of database where I can just dip in kind of
Mhm.
when, maybe when the market's good or when the market's down.
Mhm.
And I just didn't have the time and ability to study everything. Like I passed the first portion, I believe it was the legal or somewhat.
Yeah. So there's two parts to the test.
Hmm.
There's the state and the federal.
Yep.
So what happens to a lot of people is because the federal is like AKA the general part.
Yep.
Um, a lot of people pass the general part first, but the thing is when it comes to the state, it's like the general gives, the state takes away
Correct.
because each state is different. They might be like, oh, we don't have that law over in the state, or we do have this law, but it works like this, and so it's very the test is meant to test you. So it's like if you study hard enough and you study hard enough, you'll pass.
You'll
So
pass.
so it's like asking me, hey, what color is the shirt? Is it blue? Is it navy blue? Is it dark blue? You know what I mean? Like, what's the best answer?
No, you're right.
And it's all of those, right? But in the when you're going through the book, if it tells you something is blue, whatever, don't call it dark blue, don't call it navy blue, just call it blue. Then it's like, all right, cool, boom, just blue. That's it.
No, that makes sense.
So yeah,
It's as we touched earlier, you have to fight for what you want, and that's where
mm,
it all goes down to. If that's something you have a passion for, and something that you're gonna have sweat and tears for, you just you set your own destination, and I guess with that destination, it's not over for me because you get 2 years, you pass it, you
yep,
take the class, you get 2 years to actually um, before you have to take the class again,
yep.
and I still got a year to go before.
Hey man, take your time, study, and if it's something that you really want, I think it's good for you to have the knowledge.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? But there are people who I come across, almost on a daily basis who, they don't have their license,
Hmm.
but they know just as much as a lot of agents do, or even more than agents do. And when I was starting out, I was coming across these people where I'm like, "Do you have your license?" They're like, "Nah," and I'm just like, "Oh, okay." So that kind of was proof to me, like, these people wanted a certain level of knowledge or a certain type of knowledge, and they went for it, and they're not gonna be defined by the license, you know, at the end of the day.
So I guess I know I'm kind of pushing it, but I guess I got to be your referral type of guy. I need to get you on all my markets of,
Hey, that's cool, man.
advertisements all over the place, so I can send some referrals, so I can potentially, I don't know, get a percentage. I think
Yeah,
I'll be
hey
more
man,
happy with that.
we could do it like this where if you bring me a referral, I'll teach you. If you want to learn how a certain deal goes, I can teach you, like, hey, this is how it goes, this is how it goes, this is how it goes. This isn't gonna be on the test, by the way. But this, you know what I mean? It'll be like in almost any deal, every deal that I've done, just about. I'm like, this was not on the test. This was not on the test either. This I did not learn in the class, and it's gonna be those things, man.
Okay, that
Yeah,
works.
but yeah, yep,
I think right now I'm at the time in my life where, obviously I got a family,
yep.
and I gotta make sure whatever moves that I do, I gotta make sure it's beneficial for the family.
Mhm.
And I would love to do real estate, but here is my, gaming lounge is my main focus. Um, but besides, I don't want to talk too much about the gaming lounge. This is more of your day and
Thank
to
you, thank you.
promote, um,
Yep.
Boston Trust Realty Group,
Mhm.
and to potentially get some referrals from this
Yep. Yeah.
video,
Yeah.
and also get people to understand what you're doing as a
Mhm.
broker, and as to work for a high intensity company. I see their ads all over, especially like high rise buildings.
Mhm.
I see the Boston Trust Realty Group, like in a lot of places in Boston, and
Oh yeah, you'll see it.
and to come all the way to the South Shore. I know there's a lot of realty groups in this area. To potentially have your flyer up and some ads running here, and to get some potential clients out this way. Um, like I know it's a big change, just because it's a big drive and it's a big change of of
Oh
different.
man, I go out to Rhode Island, man.
Okay, that's
You
that's
know, this
that's
ain't
good to know.
this is I think how could I put it? Like, people, a lot of people put um a barrier on how far they're willing to go,
Yeah,
and I don't like to do that. You know what I mean? If I'm familiar with a place, it doesn't matter if it's an hour away, if it's 2 hours away. If I'm familiar with the place and I know I can get something done there, I'll get it done there. You know
that's
what I mean?
awesome.
And so, for me, for my office, actually, we're also licensed in Rhode Island. So, we've done deals in Rhode Island. Especially probably more so over the last like year or two. And yeah, man, I mean, it's there. It's there for the taking. When you have connections in places, you gotta you got to build your connections, strengthen your connections, and things like that. And so, yeah, man, I don't have any problem coming out here getting any deals done, nothing like that. But I wanted to touch on, because I didn't fully answer one of the questions when you asked me what's one of the things that like I'm most proud about.
Mm-hmm.
And so, um, like when I got started in real estate, there were certain types of deals that I wanted to do.
Mm-hmm.
So there's been, you know, I've wanted to do a deal where I'm like, I bring a buyer, and they're getting, like, they're buying, like, on paper it's like a 2-family, but it's really like a 4-family or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I've done one of those deals. Um, I've done a deal where I'm like, I wanted to do a new construction off market,
Yep.
and I made it happen. And it's funny because once I put those ideas of the types of deals I wanted to do, once I actually put those in my head, um, those started happening like within a year. And like, it wasn't until after the deal got started, or when it was almost at the end, that I'm like, hold on, wait, this is hold up, this is what I wanted to happen. I'm like, oh wow, this is so cool.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think if in anything that you're passionate about, anything that you really want to make happen, if you can come up with those little specific things where you're like, yes, I want to, I don't know, like, since you have Platinum City, right? Let's say, like, one day you want to have the McCourty twins come in or something like that, like bring their kids in or something like that, and be like, yo, I had a great time. I want to do a big party here. You know what I mean? Like,
Mm-hmm.
that could be one of your things, just to give more of an example. And yeah, man, it's like, I feel like if it's something that you're really passionate about, you'll find those little things to make it very, very specific to making your dream happen, to where you could be like, that makes me so happy that that happened, or that it happened in this way.
Okay.
So
So,
yeah.
say for example, someone asks if they wanted to become a broker, how many hours do they have to put in as a realtor to become a broker?
So typically, what the board wants you to do is, before you even qualify to become a broker and stuff, you have to be 3 years in practice.
Yeah.
You need to have you need to, if you switch to offices or anything like that, you need to have your prior offices sign off, say like, yeah, he worked here and all that stuff. They want anywhere from 20 plus hours a week. And so, for me, I'm full time. Like, I do that within 2-3 days,
Wow.
sometimes. And yeah, man, that's pretty much what it is in the basic sense. And then yeah, and then you have to take a test all over again,
Mm-hmm.
for brokerage, just so that you understand, like, hey, these are the liabilities, these are the responsibilities and things like that. And so, it's not gonna, even just to be eligible to take the test to become a broker takes 3 years.
Wow.
So yeah, so if you're for some people, I never saw myself as like like, at the moment I'm an associate broker. So what an associate broker does is, like, you're not the head broker, but it's like you're an associate. And so it's like you have the same license, but you're still working under another broker in a simpler sense. So yeah, so that's the position I'm in, at the moment. Um, the team that I'm with, I want to stick with my team. This is where I want to grow and things like that. I don't see myself going off and creating Baptista Realty Group or anything, because my team means a lot to me. My company means a lot to me. I've grown a lot here. And yeah, I want to bring people in who will, aspire to grow in the same way and grow in new ways, and better and bigger ways as well. So for me, it's about the team.
Nice. Nice.
Yeah.
That means a lot. And I'm hoping eventually one of the Boston Trust Realty Group, one of the owners, see that, and to hear actually what you actually just and uh, expressed
Yep.
about the company. That means a lot,
Mhm.
especially for owner of that company, and to show that he built some trust workers to believe in his company, and to believe in what he offers to people is tremendous. Of just hearing that from you, it means a lot because just to work with a company and to understand that I don't want to make my own company out of this. I want to build what you have. That means a lot. Um, what are some things that some trials that you've been through that you look back and be like, wow, how how would you want to change those? Like, what are some things that you've been through that you look back and be like, if I could change, I would.
Like you mean as far as like regrets
Yeah, like regrets.
or
Yep.
um, um I don't believe I have any regrets, man. I think everything happens for a reason,
Okay.
and some things don't always work out. Just in not only just in real estate, but in business with business relationships. People have egos. People, there are these things that they come up that you don't always have control over,
Yep.
and,
Absolutely.
and at the end of the day, you just have to do what's best for you. There's gonna be times where you have to cut ties,
Yep.
times when you have to walk away from situations because it's just not worth it. You know, um, yeah, it's just two. It was that Big Sean had he had a line in that song he did with DJ Khaled. Some emotions are too taxing to keep paying out. And you have to, it comes to you, man. We're all humans at the end of the day, and a lot of people say, oh, separate business from emotion,
Oh
but it's
yeah.
like your business can affect your emotions, man,
Oh
and your
yeah.
emotions can affect your business too.
Oh
You
yeah.
know, so the way I'm speaking right now, if I don't speak with emotions about what I do and how I love what I do, you may not want to work for me or
No,
work with me, right?
no, you're right. Yeah,
So
absolutely.
yeah,
You have a extremely big passion in what you do, um,
thank you.
and that means a lot to people um, and people that's watching.
Mm,
Um, it just means a lot. It really does. Um, and just to really sit here with you, it's crazy. Like it's
yeah,
just it brings back memory lanes of like just tough times and
yeah.
things like that.
Playing ball against each other,
Yep,
all that.
yep, yep.
Yeah, man. Oh
Um,
man.
but do you got like a before we go to a commercial?
Mm.
Do you have like a Facebook like page or LinkedIn?
Yes, I do. So you guys see my name on the side right here. So Milton, my last name is Baptista, Baptista. You can find me on LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, all the same name. And yeah, if you guys want to connect with me, if you guys have any questions about real estate, I'm always happy to answer any questions, any way that I can help. I'm a resource to everyone. So yeah.
Okay, and your number looks
Yep.
like
So this is my office number down there. So you could call the office number and ask for me, or leave a message for me, or you can call me on my cell phone at 617-669-6970, and I'll answer any calls, texts. I get calls from numbers I don't know every day, and my job is to pick them up. So yeah, so that's pretty much what I'm here for, just being a resource to people. And yeah, follow me, connect with me, I should say, at any of those platforms or directly.
all right. Do you want to give anyone like a shout out before we go into break? Um,
Shout out to my office, man, Boston Trust Realty Group. Shout out to Jeff Similian. Me and him are working out of the commercial office right now. So Jeff's been doing a lot of work. I've been learning a lot from him. Rob Nichols, Daniel, Jeanette, Tony Baptiste, Hughes, Marcelin, Rochelle, Joseph, like so many people that I work with just on a daily basis. So shout out to everybody. Um, Mauricio. um, yeah, my clients. I just had a closing earlier today. So
nice.
congrats to Perdomo family closing on their multifamily house in Mattapan today. Um, oh man, who else? Yeah, I keep it going, man.
How does that? before we actually go into this commercial, how does that feel actually closing and knowing that you helped the family succeed their goal? Like, how does that feel inside? Like, as having so much passion of helping someone,
Oh man.
and because it's like I can think back when I brought my first house and to actually work with a realtor. I gave my all into them, right?
Mm,
And when I slept in my house that first night, it felt like everything, like I succeeded my dream of having a house. You know what I
mm.
mean? And like, how does that feel to you as being a broker? First you was a realtor, and now you're a broker. And like, I know you had so many closed deals. Like, how does that feel? You know, just being able to help someone. Um, like, how does that feel in you? Like, how does that feel? Like, like just me personally buying my first house, it was just like, wow, it was this felt like everything to me because it's
Mhm.
just I worked so hard to achieve that.
Mhm.
Now, for you, it's like you help them get to that goal. Either sweat and tears of showing them different locations, showing them the keys to making sure you get an inspector to inspect your property. These are the things to look for. All those kind of cool different aspects of buying a house. Like, how does that feel? Like for you?
For me, it's one of those things that you can never take it away.
Okay.
So me helping you to achieve your dream of buying a house, or I've helped a few startups at this point get their first commercial lease and
Mm-hmm.
things like that. It's a thing where it's like you become kind of a family member in a sense, because like, hey, when I need you for this, I can count on you for this. You know what I mean? Or I could count on you to help me in this realm.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah, man, I just like that. I actually had a client on my way over here. Today was like the 2-year anniversary
Yep.
of me showing her her condo that her and her mom ended up buying together.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah, man, it was, it's just one of those things that it's a reminder, like, your work doesn't go unappreciated. And, some people appreciate it more than others, but, at the end of the day, it's still something that can never be taken away. Like, I helped you achieve your dream. I helped you achieve your goal. Nothing could ever change that, Could
That's
never change that fact.
that's
You know?
that's that's a that's big right there. I wasn't expecting you to actually answer that question that way.
Oh.
That's big.
Yep. So see, like that's something that's beyond money. You
Yep.
know what I mean? So that's why, like I was saying earlier too, like you're doing it just for money. When that money's not there anymore, man, what are you gonna do?
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know?
and the thing is, I think I kind of misleaded it and said it the wrong way.
No, it's nothing
Um,
wrong with it, man. But
as in
it's
saying
yeah.
the money thing.
Mm,
I just thought I'd say that because everyone says, "Hey, real estate, you're gonna make a killing," but everyone does run a business for the aspect of to raise their family, to potentially have funds that they can drive their car every day, put gas in their car, put money in, just for food and all that kind of stuff. So everything somewhat involves around it, but it's the passion that you have that drives it to another level,
mm,
right?
yeah.
Um, but it's I thought I'd just add that little piece in there, just so people don't get the wrong impression that
Yeah, yeah.
I'm just
No, no,
greedy.
no. See, here's the thing, right?
Mhm.
Is that people, anything you do, right? Any type of work you do, whether you love it or you hate it, you're doing it. Part of it is like you do have to put food on the table. You know
Absolutely.
what I mean? You do have to put gas in the car. You do have to put clothes on your back, all that stuff, right? And I could go and say, hey, anything you do is for money, right? But it's like when you do something that like is kind of beyond money, where it's like money's a part of the reward, but it's not the only reward. That's when you're like, okay, like this is what I do, and you'll be good at it,
Oh yeah,
And so, you'll always prosper at it. You'll always have, and people will look to help you because of that,
absolutely.
because they know when they deal with you that you're not looking at it just for the paycheck. You're not looking at it, just as a transaction, and then it's done. you know. And so, yeah, if anyone's interested, I've also, I think like about a year ago, I put out a 5 minute first time home buyers course just because I want people to have the knowledge on how you buy a house in Massachusetts, right? And so, uh, did you take the first time home buyers
Yep,
course?
absolutely.
How long was the first time home buyers course?
Ooh, I brought my house maybe 8 years ago.
Yeah,
I can't even remember.
it was more, it was longer than 5 minutes, right?
It was definitely longer than 5 minutes.
Yep. So what I did was, because I took the first time home buyers course myself too a few years ago, and when we took the course, and like this was after uh, I don't think I had my license just yet, but I had taken the real estate course, and I'm like, oh wait, I know all this stuff already, anyways, and I'm in the first time home buyers course with my girlfriend at the time,
hmm
and we're going through it, and I'm like, you guys took so long just to get to like what I really needed to know. So much fluff and everything. It's good to know all of that stuff, but 90% of the stuff you guys talked about during this first time home buyers course, I'm not even gonna be worried about it because the lender worries about the insurance. You know, um, when it comes to inspector, yeah, I can get an inspector, but I have help with so many aspects of it. Just tell me what I need to know.
Yep.
So what I did was I explained the home buying process in 5 minutes, and so I have that video up on my YouTube page as well. So if
We
anybody who wants to know how to buy a house, what you actually need to know, watch my video.
we should have had it on the
Yeah,
commercial, but
yeah. I wasn't even thinking about that, but yeah, but yeah. So yeah. And
so
so I'll be my bad but yeah, I'll be me and my broker my colleague Jeff will be putting out videos. We're planning to put out videos just about every week, maybe 2 a week, one from me, one from him, where we're showing people what's going on in Boston, and we're showing people how to deal with commercial real estate, how to get started, how to get a commercial lease, how to go through the buying process and things like that.
how
So.
are you guys marketing that?
Well, we're just getting started, so we're doing a lot through Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, social a lot through social media. So we're just putting the knowledge out there because uh, commercial real estate is something that people don't really deal with a lot, but
hmm
there are people who need to deal with it. So by us giving that help for free, and just putting that value, that education out there, we're we're just letting it be known. Not everybody's gonna work with us, but if we're a resource to you, if we can help you learn something, then once again, that's something that you can't take away. If you learn something from us, we're like yes. Those that's the kind of guys that we are. So
No, that's amazing.
yep.
I think we need to add you on our weekly, every Monday show where we can advertise uh, what you guys do
Oh, cool,
every
cool, man.
week.
Yep.
But this is something that we can talk about, not live, obviously, but I think what you're doing is amazing, and what you and Jeff, you said,
Yep.
are doing is amazing as well.
Thanks, thanks.
And the purpose again of this whole web show is to build each other's business by referrals. And how we do that is we market this on YouTube, LinkedIn, um, Facebook. We share it in so many different groups. That's why every time you see me put my head down, we're sharing it in a different group,
Nice.
and that reaches tons of people. We get tons of viewers on a lot of our videos, and this is a free market where we can help each other. I don't know if a lot of people know that Facebook is a tool where you can really, really market yourself. And with broadcasting shows, it just to have the ability to have that here at the Gaming Lounge made me think of, me and my partner think of a broadcasting show where we can help businesses grow and help us grow by having, seeing Platinum City Gaming as a representative of the show, and also marketing it for, our spotlight speakers. Sorry, our sponsors at the bottom here, where you see ads running consistently. So it's helping everyone across the board. Where you know we're sharing it. It's just a tool. It's an amazing tool that helps everyone realistically. And we're on here every Monday from 5:30 to 6:30. Some days we start exactly 5:30. Some days we end at 7 o'clock. But we try to end the show at 6:30. But we're gonna go into a quick break. Please check out this awesome commercial that Boston Trust Realty Group put together. Is that correct?
Yeah,
I want to make
yeah,
sure
yeah, yeah.
it's the commercial.
Yeah.
They put it together, right?
Well, no, it's like you'll see it on our videos and stuff. So when you see it, you know who it is.
Okay.
So yeah,
All right. So we're
yeah.
gonna stay tuned, everyone. If you have any questions, please send us a message. There's been a couple of people in and out asking questions. I've been answering them and asking them questions and things like that. But if anyone have any questions, we'll be right back. We're just gonna go to a quick commercial. And we'll be right back.
All right.
All right, everyone. Welcome back. Welcome back. Um, so again, we have Milton here from Boston Trust Realty Group. It looks like someone actually wrote had a question for you.
Nice.
Um, when you started uh, real estate, um, did you have any role models that you looked up to?
Um, I had a few. Yeah. So for me, yeah, like I said, I said earlier, like a few role models I had were like people in my family, people in my neighborhood, people who like I used to work with, at the time, like when I kind of first started out. I would say my role models were more immediate. It wasn't like, like today you have like a lot of agents who are on TV, like Ryan Serhant
Hmm.
and Josh Altman, who these guys are on $1 million list in New York and LA. Both guys from Boston
Hmm.
and stuff like that. And so, those guys are, they're definitely something that like I aspire to be. Like when I'm doing, $1 million deals. Haven't broken the $1 million on a single transaction yet. I'm close, but hasn't happened just yet. But I know I'll get to it. But for the most part, it's just been people who are immediate, who I see them, doing business in a certain way, in a way that I would do it. And so I just try to walk in, those footsteps. So I would say, those have been my role models, is just people who are, within my circle, who are immediate, who I know were doing real estate before I was.
Wow. Okay. All right. All right. So, couple other questions. I know like earlier, you was touching about classes and things like that. That you probably be interested in doing something like that. So, say for example, we said, all right, I have the space maybe in Boston, maybe here, and would you be interested in hosting a class or anything like that?
Sure. It'll depend on what it's on. I feel like I'm pretty well rounded. I'm not, in real estate. You can't be the expert on everything,
Hmm.
but I feel like I'm very well rounded. Between residential and commercial, and there's not a lot of you see a lot of agents who who are in it for a long time.
Hmm.
They just stick to one or the other, and for myself having made that transition and stuff, I feel like I can uh, show people. I can share like, hey, this is what you should out for if you're doing residential real estate. You're gonna need these type of skills versus if you're doing commercial, you're gonna need these type of skills.
Hmm.
So yeah, so be glad to do a class information session. You know, anything to help people out with taking that next step.
Okay. Another question someone asked: what is a typical day as being a realtor slash broker? What
Oh
is
man, oh man, a typical day. Hmm.
Ashley? This question's for you. I know you asked this question. Someone by the name of Ashley. She
Oh,
asked the
okay.
question.
Typical day. Honestly, typical day for me would be, I'll probably wake up like 5 o'clock, 5:30 in the morning. Um, do some type of workout at home. If not, I go to, I love kickboxing in Quincy. Sometimes, do some type of a morning workout just to get that out of the way. Usually out of the house by like um, 8 o'clock, 9 or something. I might drive around to see, I might drive around a certain part of the city of Boston to see if there's um, any businesses for sale or any vacancies and in commercial properties, and just to familiarize myself with, a certain part of town. See if there's any possible business. Then make it to the office by like maybe 9:30, 10 o'clock. Uh, from 10 o'clock, anywhere from 10 o'clock to 12, I'm probably doing follow-ups on deals. Um, calling, uh, you know, calling new tenants. People who sent an inquiry about a listing we have or something like that. 12, I'm probably checking in with the other office, with the residential office, just to see, if there's anything that they may need help with, or anybody, who they want to send over to us, who has a commercial need, or anyone we have to send to them with a residential need. Usually lunch around 1 or so, 2 o'clock. You know, I try to schedule my appointments, like my showings and everything, from between 2 to 4, because I don't want to be in the traffic.
Yeah. So,
And 4 o'clock, I'm trying to wrap up my day between 4 to 6. So that's with sending out emails and everything. And one thing that I like to do is I've been doing it for like the last month or so. The emails that I know I want to send in the morning, I'll do a draft the night before. So I'll do drafts before I leave the office. So then I'm like, okay, boom, 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 boom. And then I know at like 7 o'clock in the morning the next morning, before I leave the house, I just go on my phone, hit send, 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 you know? And so that way I'm top of mind the next morning. So, yeah.
wow. So
But
it
yeah,
looks like. So how do you keep track of your appointments and things like that? Do you use Google Calendar?
I use Time Tree.
Okay. Time.
So I'm going to show you guys right now. Time Tree looks like, oh man, I have some missed calls. Oh wow. But yep, Time Tree. Oh, I don't know if you guys are gonna be able to see that on there, but yeah. But anyways, I'll show you. Time Tree. It's like, anytime I have appointments, I just put them in real quick. You see, like this month it was just like one thing after another. You know what I mean? And so yeah, I just keep track like this. So if I have to call someone, I put it in here. To do it between a certain time. If I have to, do a showing, I set that up. I put that in here, and then it sends me a reminder either an hour before or half an hour before, and yeah, I just that helps me to stay on top.
Wow. Okay.
So
All right.
yeah,
So that's amazing. I know we touched a little bit of everything here today, and I don't want to hold you up because I know you probably got a early morning,
got
and
this drive back to Boston.
do you want to like again let everyone know about what you do before we get off and end the show? You want to send a sales pitch to everyone. How are you different? What will make me want to go to your company besides going to someone else? I know this is a little tricky question. You don't have to answer it, but what would make me want to come to you guys besides having the passion and being able to sustain the abilities of doing an awesome closing? Um, like, what will make me really, really want to come to you guys? Like, what's so? Do you guys do like, after your closing, you guys still stay in touch with um, your clients and all that
Definitely.
kind of good stuff?
Yep. So what we do, so pretty much the difference that you'll see between us and other companies is one, level of professionalism, and then two, the level of service that you're gonna get. So there are some officers who, not to say they do a bad job, but some of them they don't know exactly like how to go above and beyond. And so that's one thing that our company teaches our agents is we're always like, look, you gotta go above and beyond. You gotta get this closed. This is the most important thing. You need to get this closed. You need to go pick up that paper. You need to help them figure it out. You need to do blah 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 blah. Whereas, with other offices, they may be like, well, that's on them to do it. It's like, yeah, it's on them to do it, but how can you help to get it done? Because then they feel better about doing it. So just when you see that difference in service, between us and other companies, I think that's why our company's been around for so long. Why our company continues to grow and prosper, and yeah, pretty
Nice,
much it.
nice. Um, Give a little. I want to get touching of your your background a little bit. Um, like have was you born uh, in United States, or did you like give me a little bit of your background if you
All
don't
right.
mind?
So both of my parents are Cape Verdean.
Yeah.
I'm first generation born in the States. My older brother and I. Um, yeah, first generation born. I grew up in Brockton until I was about 9 years old, 10 years old. Then moved to Boston. I do. Today I speak. Uh, you know, speaking English now, but Cape Verdean Creole, Portuguese and Spanish, which I learned during college. I
Wow.
learned Portuguese and Spanish during college,
Wow.
and yeah, I just I started off after college. I worked in the schools for a little bit, Boston Public Schools for a little bit, and it just wasn't for me. So throughout college, I had worked with nonprofits, most notably DSNI, Dudley
Yep.
Street Neighborhood Initiative,
Yep.
and yeah, so after college working with the school, Boston Public Schools, I went back to working with nonprofits, which I did for a little while, and once I felt like I had fulfilled my, what I wanted to do
Mhm.
within the realm of nonprofit. That's when I started to look at real estate, and I was like, hold on, I have a lot of transferable skills because I'm helping people. I'm just gonna help people in a different way. You know what I mean? And do big deals and stuff like that, and helping someone to get services that they need, like through a public assistance program or something like that. It's the same. The way I look at it is the same as me helping someone to get a business deal done. And so just having that same patience, having the knowledge of like, hey, this is how this is gonna work, and just really having that positive attitude, like something is gonna work out. This is gonna work out. This is going to happen. We just need to keep it going, keep pushing, things like that. So that's you know my background.
Nice.
That's
Nice.
my
Nice.
story in a nutshell.
Okay. Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. All right. So again, I don't want to hold you up too much longer, but I still want you to give that sales pitch to everyone, either letting them know again where they can find you,
Yep.
your contact, if you have an Instagram, if you have a personal Facebook, if you may want to share that, or if you
Yep.
want to share your YouTube, if you have a YouTube link, or if you
Mhm.
have a LinkedIn,
Yep.
any social media marketing that you want to share.
Yep.
This is a great time to let everyone know where they can find you.
Yep. So yeah. So again, on all social media platforms, I use my first name, Milton. Right. So you can find me by this name, Milton Baptista, Baptista, or Milton L Baptista on Instagram, on Facebook. You'll find my personal and my business page, the same names. LinkedIn, same name, Milton Baptista. Um, yeah, I don't really use Twitter that much. I don't even know what my Twitter name is. But yeah, but pretty much across all social media platforms, I use my name. And yeah, and if you are a business owner who's looking to expand, looking to downsize, looking to move your business to another city or to another location, think of me. Uh, if you are a commercial property owner and you have a vacancy and you're looking to place a business in your space, think of me. And yeah, I'm here to help. I'm a resource to all. Um, Reach me anytime, 617 669 6970. Also on the social media platforms that I mentioned, I'm easy to get in touch with, very accessible. Give me a call, shoot me a text, DM, all of that.
All right. Again, I know earlier we hit a couple shout outs. You want to end it with a couple shout outs.
Yeah, shout out to John helping us out at the commercial office. John's been doing a great job helping us with the marketing and everything. This guy's a genius. um, who else? Shout out to, I guess, my BNI group just started.
Let them know where
Charlestown.
that. Let
Yeah,
them know where that actually BNI group's going to be held at.
yep. So my BNI, so BNI stands for Business Networking International. We just started a chapter in Charlestown, and we're having a launch event actually on November 13th at the Holiday Inn in Somerville. So right off of exit 29, if you're in Boston and you're on 93, exit 29, you get off at Sullivan Square, take a left, and then you'll see the Holiday Inn a few blocks up on your left. And we are having that at 6:45 a.m. November 13th.
November 13th. What is
Yep.
the fee for that? Because
Oh, that's free, man.
okay.
You come to that, man, and you grub, you eat, have breakfast, meet with some top-notch professionals, and from different industries, and you know, come through, mingle, make your connections, and yeah, hopefully, everyone can get some business out of it, one way or
What day
another.
was that again? I got to add that to my calendar.
November 13th,
Is that a Tuesday?
Wednesday.
Wednesday?
Yep.
Okay. I got to add that to my calendar.
Yep, yep. Yeah, man, you gotta show up, man. We gotta get
No,
you some business, man.
I'll be there. I'll be there. I'm gonna make
Cool,
sure I
cool.
show up to that one.
Yep, yep.
I just gotta get up a little early. I'll probably might have to stay in Boston.
Yeah, I was about to say, man, just spend the night, before.
The traffic's
Yep.
a little crazy in the morning.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Cool.
Yep, yep.
All right. So we're actually gonna get ready to end the show. Um, Again, this is a one-on-one business referral web show where we sit with individuals and actually learn about what they do as an entrepreneur. Um, and we use this market as a tool where it can, people can get to know them. Also, a tool where it could potentially get them some exposure, some business. And also, we have another tool here on this free um, every Monday web show. Um, we also added two at the bottom, as you see strolling. Those are our sponsors. That's the only thing that we charge, and it's $50 for the whole month. Again, y'all, you see Sea Green. They are a bookkeeping tax company. Also, Nerds to Go. They are a local computer cyber um, company out of Taunton. Also, we have Robin's Flower Shop. They're right here in Taunton, um, and they're amazing as well. We have TMLP as a sponsor. They are a internet provider. So again, you're going to see the sponsors grow through time where, one hand is helping the next hand grow. And again, this tool is free where you can come on here um, and let people know about what you do, and hopefully potentially it gets you some exposure, because you can pay for all of these different tools, these different marketing things. None of it's guaranteed, everyone. And I'm going to tell you this straight up. Someone can tell you today and say, hey, I can get you 1,000 customers to come in your door, or I can get you 1,000 sales. None of that's guaranteed. Everything is a trial and tribulation of if that right person's watching at that time, it can potentially be a client for you, or it can whatever business you're doing. It can be a client that walks in your door. I don't know what business everyone's doing, but um, again, this is a tool for everyone. It's free, so if you're looking to potentially be on our next web show, please reach out to me. My name is Rashaud, and yeah, reach out to me. I can be reached right here at Platinum City Gaming. The number here is 774-501-2749. But again, Milton, you have any last remarks before we head out?
Yeah, just be in touch if you have any commercial real estate needs, or if you're a startup looking for a space or looking for a way to get investors for your business. Then I can be a resource to you. Reach out. Only one call, one DM, one message away.
All right. So we're going to end it out with our commercials, and stay tuned to our next show.
All right, thanks for having me,
Yep.
man.